In 1882, a US president blamed Chinese immigrants for worker frustration in the nation, signing the Chinese Exclusion Act, the first law in American history to place broad restrictions on immigration. In 1942, a US president's executive order forced Japanese Americans into internment camps for 3 years because Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. As if those citizens were the war criminals responsible, in 2020, a US president's charged language made the Asian American and Pacific Islander community the supposed scapegoat for his poor handling of the pandemic, greenlighting the increased violence against them. The way this nation confuses association with correlation and further misconstrues that to mean causation is beyond me. It's beyond me. I know the moment I open my mouth about this, I'm gonna be accused of pandering for clicks, spewing for views, playing politics, and fueling the feuds. But I ain't about to prioritize people's approval over the suffering of others. Fathers are losing their sons and brothers. Daughters are losing their sisters and mothers. While some are typing comments to refute me, Asian-owned businesses are suffering from looting. The media's been covering these crimes loosely, and don't even get me started on the Atlanta spa shootings. To those who aren't publicly adding to this crisis, I'm also referring to what we do in private, slurring words like we're drunk off of racism, making jokes about the hurt and slain victims. Would we be bystanders during these attacks, or would we try to stop them? If our response is, well, black people have it worse, then we're part of the problem. Why play this stupid game of my pain is greater than yours when we all end up losing in the end? Can I really claim to love everyone if there are groups I don't defend? If I pretend to not see Asian plight, then what message does that send? If we wish for unity in this life, then we must make amends. We ain't gotta be skinfolk for us to be kinfolk, yet those who think otherwise often claim that they've been woke. I look into your irises and I see that you family. How could you be called viruses when you're part of humanity? Your community's been enduring 2 pandemics, one from the virus, the other xenophobic antics. This oppression ain't shallow or new, it's systemic. Your part in American history, many academics discredit. People with a monolith are grouped into a monolith, told they don't fit Western beauty standards of what a model is, unless it's model minority, which is really all a myth that separates blacks and Asians as if we were opposites. I'm positive that we're not meant to be antagonists. Malcolm X and Yuri Kochiyama were allied activists. Historical analysis shows that was not by accident. Our reconciliation always brings about the miraculous. I'm passionate about putting an end to black paralysis and callousness. When AAPI lives are under malicious attacks in this nation, why don't I see more frustration about the violent hate crimes these assailants are making? Yo, the anomaly is some look like me ironically. I'm shocked to see black siblings hating constantly. We often treat your struggle like it's comedy. Inaudibly, some slur racist philosophy, quite odd since we've endured racial atrocities. This gotta be deemed as the worst hypocrisy. We oughta be your biggest allies logically. And honestly, we owe y'all an apology. And yes, we, as in also me. Cause don't get it twisted, I too was implicit, and also complicit in all of the mischief. The biggest of bigots. Yo, God is my witness, my bias intrinsic. Bet most couldn't miss it. My thoughts were explicit, sadistic, horrific, malicious, indifferent toward Asian depictions. No pointing fingers within this. I'm just being transparent about what is apparent and glaring and staring at us in our faces. The hate crimes are racist. Stop victim blaming. No more public shaming. Don't turn a blind eye to all of the anguish Asian Americans facing. It's time for reconciliation.